Hey, awesome people. Welcome back. We are talking about what's on the screen, fractions. Mr. C here, of course. Man, this has been an amazing series so far. Fractions is something that you are going to use for really the rest of your life. I mean, you're going to hear people talk about halves and thirds and fourths and things like that for the rest of your life. So I'm super excited that you are here as we continue making math understandable and challenging. If you have learned anything in this video or any of the other videos, make sure you click the like button and the subscribe. I would love to have you continue this journey with me. If you didn't have a chance, in the description below, I will drop the video, our first video that we talked about equivalent fractions. This is a second video where we are just going to do some practice problems on equivalent fractions. So if you need some explanation as to what an equivalent fraction is, click on the description below so that way you can see what we learned previously. Also, in the description below, we've talked about number lines, partitioning, we've talked about numerators, denominators, we've talked about identifying fractions, so make sure you watch those videos. They're really important. And we also got started on second grade learning standards on what in the world a fraction even is. What's a half? What's a third? What's a fourth? So make sure you watch those videos. They are in the description below. Like I said, today we are going to do some example problems, so make sure you have pencil, paper, scrap piece of paper, a napkin, a whiteboard, anything to write on. Join me. Let's do a few problems together. All right, people, here we go. I've got two fractions for you here. I've got 3/4 and I've got 1/3. Go ahead and pause the video, partition these on the number line, see what you notice, and then figure out, are these two fractions equivalent fractions? Will they be equivalent? We'll take a look, pause it, try them on your own, then I'll take them. Alright, hopefully you pause the video. If not, that's alright. Follow along with me. Here we go. First fraction we are partitioning is 3/4. What is our denominator in this fraction? It is 4. So we need 4 equal sections. Here we go. Here's my first one. Second one. Third. Whoop, that one's a little bit too far. There we go, it's a little bit better. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. How many of these equal sections are we going to represent? Well, we're going to represent 3/4. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Put a dot here. This is going to represent 3/4. All right. Now let's do our fraction 1/3. Here we go. So 1/3, our denominator is 3. We need to divide this into 3 equal parts. So here's my first part, second part, and my third part. All right, let's mark where 1/3 is going to be at. We start at 0. We're going to go over 1 section. 1, put our point, and that is going to represent 1/3. All right, what are you noticing? What are you noticing about 3/4 and 1/3? What are you noticing between the two of them? All right, let's think. So I've got 3/4, I've got 1/3. We want to see, are these two fractions equivalent? Well, if you look at this number line, are they? Are they the same distance to 1 whole? Are they the same distance to 0? No, they're not. They're not equal distance to 0. They're not equal distance to 1. They're not equal on this number line. You see 1/3? It's back here. 3/4 is up here. Are these lined up? Are they equal? No, they are not. These two fractions are not equivalent fractions. Okay, they are not equivalent fractions. Let me show you the fraction bar to prove it. All right, here's a fraction bar. So in our problem, if you remember, we had 3/4 and 1/3. Well, here is 1/3. right here. 3/4 would be, here's 1/4. This would be 2/4. This would be 3/4. So it would go all the way to right here. This is how much 3/4 would be. This whole section. 1/3 would be this piece from here to here. Which one is bigger? Well, you can probably tell that already. 3/4 is bigger. They are not equivalent fractions. That is the big thing I want you to understand, is understanding that if they are not the same size, if they are not located equal distance on this number line, they are not equivalent fractions. There's the fraction bar as well. Okay. Again, if any of this is confusing, tune into our other video where we explain it in more detail. Let's try another one. All right, now you've got 3/4 and you've got 1/2. Here is our number lines. Try them on your own first, and then I'm going to try it as well. So pause the video if need be, and then join me as I try it. All right, hopefully you have paused the video. Let's jump into 3/4 first. What's our denominator? It is 4, so we need 4 equal sections. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is our numerator? Well, our numerator is 3, so we're going to go over 1, 2, 3. Here we are right here. This is going to be 3/4. Let me write that at the top of it. All right, there is 3/4. On our number line, now let's do 1/2. Our denominator is 2, so we need 2 equal sections. Let me get 2 equal sections. There we go. Our numerator is 1, so we're going to go over 1 equal section in our number line. So here we are right here, and this is going to represent 1/2. All right, what are you noticing? What are you noticing? Are these equivalent fractions? How can you tell if they are or if they're not? Well, which one is closer to 1? Are they the same distance to 1? Are they the same distance to 0? You're probably noticing to yourself right now, I don't really notice. I don't think they are, Mr. C. Let me show you fraction bars. Okay, if I show you fraction bars, here they are. I've got 1/2 and I've got fourths for you. All right, fraction bars here. Notice 3/4 would be right here. This is where, let me change color so you can see a little bit better. Here's 3/4. This whole section from here to here is 3/4. 1/2 is right here. Which one is larger? Well, you can figure that out. But the big question is, are they equal? And they are not. 3/4 is not equal to 1/2. There's the fraction bars. 1/2. 3/4 would be 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. That's the best way to kind of think of it. This one here would be 2/4. This one here would be 3/4, and this one here would be 4/4. So there you go. All right, let's try one more. All right, one last one for you. All right, last problem here for you. I've got 2 new fractions on the screen. Go ahead and partition these fractions on the number line, and then same thing we've done on the other ones. Ask yourself, what do you notice? And then see if these fractions are equivalent. So pause it, and then I will give it a shot. All right, hopefully you paused the video and tried these on your own. If not, you can follow along with me. So here we go. We've got our first fraction of 2/8. What is the denominator? That's the first question I asked myself. It is 8, so we need 8 equal sections in this number line. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 8th one. What is the numerator? Well, the numerator looks like is 2, so we go over to the second partition. 1, 2. Here we are right there. There is 2/8. Let me label that above it, so that way we have it. 2/8. All right. Now let's do our fraction 1/4. Denominator is 4. That's how many equal sections we need. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. What is our numerator? Our numerator is 1. So we go over 1 section. So here we go. Put our fraction right above it. That's going to be 1/4. All right, what are you noticing about these two fractions? What are you noticing about these two fractions? Are they equal distance to 0? Are they an equal distance to 1? Well, are they? Let's look at some fraction bars and see what they tell us. All right, here are some fraction bars. We are talking about 2/8 and we're talking about 1/4. Well, here's 1/8, 2/8. So here's 2/8. Here's 1/4. Notice they are the same size. If they are the same size and they are the same distance from 0 to 1, what does that tell us? At this point, most of you are probably starting to get this one. 2/8 and 1/4 are equivalent fractions. Here it is on the number line. Here it is in the fraction bars. These are equivalent fractions, meaning that they are equal, meaning they are the same. Even though these fractions, when you look at these two numbers, 2/8, that's different from 1/4. You're exactly right. Look at this fraction bar. They're different size pieces. Notice how small 1/8 is compared to 1/4. They're different size pieces, but 2/8 is equal to 1/4. If you have 2/8, then you have the same amount as 1/4. Again, equivalent fractions is so important to understand. I highly recommend just grabbing a piece of paper, a napkin, anything that you can write on, and just try some on your own. Make up some, challenge yourself. The more you practice it, the better you are going to get. Equivalent fractions, like I said, rewatch these if you need to. We're going to be talking more about fractions, of course, because there's so much to cover in fractions. Thank you for tuning into this video. If you learned anything at all, click the like button. Click the subscribe as we continue this math journey in making math understandable and challenging. That's all I have for you today. Mr. C, out.